Starting in chapter 6.4 here. Adding and subtracting rational expressions, but with binomial, trinomial denominators. Well, let's go back and review again. Adding fractions. A lot of what we do with rational expressions is what we do with fractions. If I add fractions, we know we need a common denominator. We add the numerators. If we have expressions with a common denominator, add the numerators. 5 plus 6 is 5 plus 6 all over one denominator. And the numerator, the terms of numerator, they can be combined. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 over 7. And it's written in its simplest form here. Then in the last chapter, we looked at monomial denominators. So we needed to find our non-permissible values. We know that x cannot equal 0 here, from here and here. We know that they have a common denominator now. So we add the numerators, 5 plus 6 all over the one denominator. 5 plus 6 is 11 over 2x. And x can't equal 0. Well, it's going to be the same idea whether we're using binomial or trinomial denominators. Here, I like to put brackets around my binomials to help me treat them as a single entity. The denominators are the same. They have a common denominator. So once again, we add the numerators, 5 plus 6, all over one denominator, x plus 5, the same denominator. We can combine the terms in the numerator, 5 and 6, that's 11 over x plus 5. And x can't equal negative 5. That's our non-permissible value. We're going to build on that as we go further with this. Okay, well, let's go a little further. The earlier ones, we had a common denominator, so we just added or subtracted the numerators of the one common denominator. What's our lowest common denominator between these two rational expressions? Between 3 and 7. We know it's 21. So let's set it up. Over 21. Over 21. What would I have to multiply to 3 to get to 21? I think it's 7. So we're going to multiply, come up with an equivalent expression. We're going to multiply 5x over 3 times 7 over 7. And 7 times 5x is just, you know what, we'll put it in here. 7 times 5x. And then 7 times 3 is 21. And then the bottom here, we have, or on the other one, we have a 7, we have a 21. Well, what do I have to multiply to 7 to get to 21? 3. So 3 over 3. And we can express the top as 2x times 3, or 3 times 2x over 21. Now that we have a common denominator, we can subtract the numerators. 7 times 5x, subtraction sign, 3 times 2x, all over 21. And we keep going. What's 7 times 5x? That's 35x. Subtraction sign. What's 3 times 2x? 6x. All over 21. Can the numerator be simplified? Yes. 35x minus 6x, that can be simplified. That works out to, what's 35 minus 6? Was it 29? 29x over 21. We simplified it. Well, kind of the same idea with binomial denominators here. First of all, our non-permissible values. X can't equal negative 3 or, from this one, positive 5. And then we'll find our lowest common denominator. Our lowest common denominator, we're going to leave it in factored form. It's a combination of multiplying the two denominators. X plus 3 times x minus 5. We'll leave it as that. We'll leave it in its factored form. Let's set this up to help keep it organized. We're going to come up with equivalent fractions, but that have the lowest common denominator in the denominator. X plus 3 times x minus 5 in one denominator, and x plus 3 times x minus 5 in the other denominator. I've still got the 5x. I've still got the 2x here. But what am I missing from this denominator that I have down here? I'm missing the x minus 5. So it's like we're multiplying top and bottom up here by x minus 5. Move this over a bit. 5x times x minus 5. We're going to leave it in this form to begin with. Well, what am I going to multiply top and bottom here? I've got an x minus 5 here. What am I missing from this denominator? Sorry, what am I missing from this denominator that I have down here? I'm missing the x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 3. 2x times x plus 3. I'm going to leave it like this. 2x times x plus 3. Now we have equivalent rational expressions, and they have expressed with the lowest common denominator. So subtract the numerators, just like we did here. We subtracted the numerators over one denominator. 5x times x minus 5, subtraction sign, 2x times x plus 3, all over the lowest common denominator. I'll give you a chance to see if you can expand and collect your like terms in the numerator here. Okay.